Welcome back to the rest of the story. Well, there's potential rain on the horizon. That's what I've been currently working on for the last 8 to 10 hours. That right there is my last pass of side dressing corn for 2018. Glad that I'm done with it. I'm out here in the middle of nowhere, which these are the fields I kind of like, where they're so big that, I mean, the main road is like 2 miles that way. So these are fun. I mean, it's bigger fields that allow you to work all day long. This is the corn that I'm currently side dressing. This right here is Dairyland seed. That, the outside 24 rows, is AgriGold 6300. I'm not gonna start saying who's better, what, Dairyland's terrible, anything. I will say that Dairyland, as far as curb appeal goes, looks better than the AgriGold. It's got this nice dark hue to it. I mean, the stuff is getting fairly tall. The AgriGold is slightly, a little bit more greenish, yellowish. Still healthy. It's slightly shorter than the Dairyland. Now, we have never planted Dairyland before, and I got to keep moving because the bugs are closing in. As far as Dairyland goes, everyone was really quick to say that it's terrible, that it's a poor brand, poor blah 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 blah. Well, I'm not talking against Dairyland seed company whatsoever, but well, I can't. I've never planted it before. But for first time experiences, I'm so far very satisfied with it. I mean, the AgriGold, you guys are all pretty well aware of that. The AgriGold was definitely a strong yielder last year. We did run DeKalb last year. All I planted for DeKalb this year was like maybe 10 acres. It was leftover seed that was in the planter last year that was treated with Rapidity, Pacer, yeah, Rapidity and Pacer, seed applied. It was 5808. That was put on that new piece of ground we picked up, and as far as I can tell, it is coming up really well. The NK that is also on that farm is, the NK looks better than the DeKalb. We planted DeKalb for the last few years after Pioneer. Pioneer had run its course on our farms for the simple fact of we planned it for 50 to 55 years. I mean, that's all my grandpa ever planted, like heavily. And I mean, I guess it worked back in the day, but no exaggeration. The first year we went from Pioneer to DeKalb. We went from 160 to 170 bushel average across all of our ground. That's what we yielded. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just, be it the genetics we were given or told that would perform well or what. But then we started planting DeKalb. The first year that we were convinced to start planting DeKalb, literally on a whim, just because, you know, been doing the same thing for 50 years. I mean, definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and hoping for a different result. Well, what really won us over on the DeKalb is that we went from 150, 170, depends on where you were, to 200 bushel. That's all we changed. We didn't change our tillage practices, didn't change our spray program, our fertilizer program. It was literally like flipping a switch, and the bugs are catching up to me. And we went to 180 was on the low side, 190 very common, 200 we're satisfied, 210 above, I'm more than happy. I have some ground that I run that if I don't get at least 200 plus, I'm disappointed in it. It has yielded less than that before. It happens. Welcome to farming. I mean, you can't control Mother Nature. I mean, that is what really messed us up for making hay tomorrow. Maybe. We were supposed to be getting rain right now. It's 8 o'clock at night. I really should get that done so I can get back home before it gets dark out. But hopefully Ryan's out tedding right now. He's been with me all day. Oh, that was thunder. Oh, that's not good. He was with me all day, and then we decided that all that hay that I cut the other day, it needed to be tedded again. So that's what he's currently doing. Hopefully by tomorrow we can go through and rake and bale it, because they are saying now rain Friday. They were saying rain tonight, and they pushed it back a couple days. All right, let me just be quick to add, because I do got to get going. Everyone is asking about the do's and the don'ts and the what ifs and the abouts of the cultivator. I haven't taken the time to discuss it, about what we've all done to it, what I want to do different for next year. As far as the ins and outs of cultivating, really whenever I've had the cultivator out of the machine shed, we've been cultivating with it, and just for demonstration purposes and walking around it, I just didn't really want to do it in the machine shed, because the machine shed's packed pretty full right now. But you do run over corn. That is a very common question you have. This stuff that was ran over, that's not coming back at all. It's just the nature of the game. To get down to the next set of rows, you do have to run over corn on the end rows. It's back to life. I can't avoid it. That corn is gonna be a that is gonna be a dead spot or a bare spot in the field. But by going through and cultivating like this, this is allowing us to split our nitrogen, not put all of it right down in front of the corn planter, all in one big dump and just let it go. It's allowing us to put it out when the plant is more readily available to use it. Because I just talked to a guy a week ago, and they said that for guys that had gone through and put down all of their nitrogen this spring, after all of that awesome rain we had that washed out gullies and ditches and parts of the fields that have never washed before, I mean, even on no-till ground, Mother Nature wins, that a lot of guys were seeing 80 pounds of nitrogen that they put down this spring gone because of all that rain we got. So by doing that, I am keeping the nitrogen in out of the weather where it's safe, and I can go through and apply it when the plant is at this stage. I really could have gotten away with putting it on a little bit later. If you guys haven't noticed, I'm on my no-till field. I am literally just skimming the ground. I'm just moving enough dirt to bury that bury that fertilizer. Bugs are getting in my mouth. And it's working out really well. I'm literally just dragging it along the ground, and it's sitting kind of angled. Oh, all the fertilizer's down that end. Dang. By being able to go through and just skim it in like this, I'm being able to leave that cultivator a little higher, and as long as the tractor is able to clear the top of the corn, which I got a ways to go yet. I could have probably let this go another week. The problem is they're saying rain. I don't know, I'm kind of cautious in that aspect, that they are saying rain for the next couple days. Like tomorrow is our one chance to get that hay made, and then it'll be rain for like 2 or 3 days, and then maybe sunshine. But rain makes grain. I'm all happy for it, just as long as we can get some decent hay made also, because the cattle got to eat, and the bugs are trying to fly off with me, if you can't tell. So I need to go through and do some more work to this. It's getting kind of shook from being drugged through the ground. It worked out really well, better than last year. Last year was a trial run. Last year was miserable. The big thing that saved me was that filter right there from the fill line. from the fertilizer tender. And this little guy right here that is just past the pump, that one catches a lot of crud too. And I have only had one hose plug. It was just an orifice. And other than that, for all the ground we've covered and everything we've done with this machine up to this point, it's put out exactly what we need it to. This is the last fertilizer that I have to put down, and I'm gonna have just enough, because I got a fair ways to go yet. And last round, I guess I lied, I got this 2 rounds on the outside yet. So okay, bugs are terrible, gotta go. Thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in, thanks for supporting the rest of the story. But until tomorrow night, take care, take it easy, keep in touch.